Hey tubers, welcome to this episode of Redbeard's Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing this Spyderco Manix knife with the cool G10 grips on there, the scales, but more we're going to dig into their ball lock system on here and review that and compare it to the Benchmade access lock. That way you can kind of see the pluses and minuses of the Benchmade and or the Spyderco one. Let's dig in. So this is just going to kind of be an overview of this Manix knife, kind of open it up, show you guys what all it does. This one is made out of CPM 20CV. A lot of the knives on the market are using S30V, but this one's a sprint run, so they went with a different steel. Golden, Colorado, USA earth. That's pretty neat. As you can see, there's some pretty good jimping on the choil. So when you choke up on this knife, you know you got a lot of grip for doing some intricate works and stuff like that. So I'm going to, cut a little bit of this paper here, just like a Spyderco should. Real nice and sharp. You get those tiny little squigglies there. So overall, it's a pretty neat knife. This one's the DLT trading one that has the red G10 scales on it. It's a pretty big knife, so this one's a full-size guy. I have my Paramilitary 2 here for a size comparison. So that's next to a Paramilitary 2. It's a little bit chunkier of a blade, and the handle's a little bit chunkier, but it's very close in size. We close them up here. So closed, that's what they look like next to each other, and with the PM2 on top. So the Manix, it's a little bit fatter, wider with it because of the shape of the blade, and the PM2 looks like it's just a hair wider overall in length. So let's link that up. Now let's take a closer look here at this ball lock that they have. So it's plastic, they got it on both sides there, and you can kind of see there's a little spring in there, and you're not going to be able to see it with this camera here because I'm just using my ancient iPhone 6, but there's a little ball in there. So I mean, as far as being a smooth lock and working, I mean, that thing, it's locked, it does its job as a lock, but I was kind of expecting more from it. I was excited to see how it works. I mean, you can slink it around like you're slinking your dink all day, and it opens and closes the knife, and that's great. But it just feels like there's something missing. It doesn't feel that great. So let's go ahead and bring out the old Benchmade here. I borrowed this 940 from Dale. So over here with the Benchmade knife, now this is kind of Benchmade's trademark lock that Spyderco then went and made their version of. The one on the Benchmade, it's made out of metal. It doesn't use a pen spring in there or a ball to lock it. It's very light, to make it work, very smooth. It locks in really well. And it's not cumbersome, and it doesn't feel cheap, whereas the Spyderco one, they put, grippies on there, but it's very stiff. It's difficult to pull it down to make it work, where the Benchmade, real nice and easy, takes no effort at all to slide it back open and closed. So the Benchmade definitely has the better lock. This is the Benchmade Axis lock, and this is the Spyderco ball lock. I mean, it works. It works. I just feel like it cheapens the entire feel of the knife. For that reason, I'm actually going to sell this Manix. No, I'm not going to be buying a Benchmade with it, because if we go into further detail and we take a look at the blades here and we go into grind and factory grind, you're going to find that the Spyderco knives have a way nicer, better factory grind on them. Benchmade's, I mean, this one's used, as where this one's, very, very, very lightly used, but Benchmade from the factories, the grinds on them, They just seem to be garbage. Even if you send them back to get the tune done, they still come back and they're not that great. So they probably just clean the knife and send it back to you. So the axis lock from Benchmade, they nailed it. My opinion is that the ball lock on the Manix, it cheapens the feel of the knife, and for that reason, I want to get rid of this knife. It's stupid. If you're getting a Spyderco, get a Spyderco, get one with the compression lock, and you know, they nailed the compression lock. The compression lock is wonderful. You know, really not that many complaints about that thing. But as far as the axis lock versus the Spyderco ball lock, you know, Benchmade nailed it. You know, you could make this a little bit better if there was like an aftermarket company, or if Spyderco decided to go with metal grippies instead of these crappy plastic ones, and put a little bit of a lighter spring in there possibly, because it just goes really hard. That's a lot of effort you have to put in there to get it to go, where the Benchmade one, you know, not a lot of effort. It's really nice and smooth. So that's the review. So just the total overview here of the Spyderco Manix. The blade, sharp as the Spydercos come, super freaking sharp. Got some sick choil jimp in there. Got some neat grippies there, G10 scales on it, at least with the sprint runs they have. Sometimes they have just the other plastic grips. Throw a deep carry clip on there and you'll be all set. So overall, the knife, it's a good size, it's comfortable, it's neat. My personal opinion is that the Spyderco ball lock mechanism ruins the knife. I mean, even if they went with the stupid standard fuddy back open knife, or the stupid lock back there, they would have been better than this mechanism here. So maybe they could revamp it, or if somebody makes some aftermarket parts for it, that'd be cool, or just throw it in the trash because it's stupid. So as far as axis lock is concerned, I'd go with the Benchmade. Here's a slightly used Benchmade 940. I'm going to sell it here for Dale because I'm going to do him a favor and just sell the Benchmade, because Benchmades are pretty lacking in quality there. So the only, I might be facetious, but I mean, this would be really cool if it had one of the glass breakers on the back and the seatbelt cutter, so you can cut your waist placemats and stuff. So it's definitely better than a Smith & Wesson knife. I'll give you that. So I'll take this over the Smith & Wesson knife, and that's the Spyderco Manix, at least the DLT sprint run with the red. Court, don't breathe too loudly into the camera. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Redbeard's Reviews. Sorry for the crappy quality of the video. It's going to be going up in the future. So we got the Manix here. We got the Benchmade. Throw the Benchmade in the trash. Keep the axis lock. Put it on your Spyderco. And you got a winner. Please comment, like, follow, subscribe, and give me your thoughts. What do you want to see reviewed next? Have a good